welcome to Mind Your Business, a channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip. Well, people, it's been a very, very hectic week in terms of reality news and more. So let's get into the people then business. While going to support my crew, let's talk about some of the hot topics for this week. So, starting with reality news. Candice Dillard, we know that she won her court case against Michael Darby, Ashley's, I'm going to say ex-husband, but no, they're still married, Ashley's husband, and they're currently separated, as we know. But yeah, she won this court case. Now, if you remember, he decided that he wanted to basically sue her for defamation, and it was going to be like a $2 million defamation suit. But it was basically dismissed with prejudice, which means that he cannot make a move any further. And we know that Candice is definitely happy about that. And I'm glad as well, because, you know, the whole reason why he tried to sue her is because some comments that she made about him, and about him apparently, giving fellatio to someone, and a male person. So it was in one of her little shady moments. But, you know, he has to realise that he's on a show, because when I heard about this court case, I just thought, Michael, go and sit down somewhere, because surely you realise that you're on a reality show. You must have signed some waivers. You can't just go around filing lawsuits, you know, because someone's throwing a bit of shade your way. Fair enough, you didn't like the shade, but your behaviour on the show was it was very interesting. But anyway, she is definitely in the clear, and it's been dismissed on her end. So, you know, she gets to continue her, you know, stress-free life without this nonsense in a way. Well, she can now move forward without having this stress in the way. And because we know on the show, if you watch the show, she's not been discussing it. Anytime anyone's tried to ask her about it, she would just say she can't speak on that. So now that it's, you know, out the way, it's great. And we know that she apparently said, I am so grateful for common sense, the support of my family and incredible legal team for helping the plaintiff to get exactly what he deserves from me. Absolutely nothing. So very classical Candice response. So that was great. Anyway, I'm kind of glad for that, because Michael, you were really reaching with that one. I mean, $2 million. Next, we have Real Housewives of Atlanta news. So everybody knows Candy is leaving the show. If you don't know, then you know now. But Candy is leaving the show, so that she's not returning for the next season 16, and that she won't be returning this season. So that to me sounds like it's open, but when I watched her speak on it, if you haven't watched it yet, go and check on it. She's put up her speak on it, speaking on the fact that she's leaving. And she did say that she feels like she doesn't see herself kind of returning. So, you know, that's really sad news, because I really like Candy on the show. I thought she is great TV. I know a lot of people say, oh, she's boring, or she's this, she's that. But actually, I think she was really good. And she brought a lot to the show. She shared her family, you know, like Andy Cohen said, I thought his little message to her was nice, or about her was really nice, just saying how much she brought to the show and how much he really liked working with her and appreciated her. So the door is still open there. So I think that's really good. But I feel like Candy has so much going on in her life that, you know, she does need some more time to spend. And it's interesting, because she did say that if they came back to her sooner, she might have just been on autopilot and would have just said, yeah, I'm going to return. But because they did take a while to get back to her and were longing it out, she was saying that, you know, basically on her speak on it, she was saying that she's got to spend more time with her family, to, you know, go to the studio, work on music, work on different projects. And she just enjoyed having that time, like being at home, being a mum, you know, helping out, taking her mum, Mama Joyce, to go and get her cataract surgery, and taking her daughter, Riley, to go and get some eye surgery as well, and taking Todd to go and get some dental work done and stuff like that. So she got to do, like, you know, just normal everyday things. So I think like because she had that moment and that space to reflect, she just thought, you know what, leave it. And like she said, she doesn't really need to work. Like, she's set for life. She's good, but she enjoys what she does. But I will miss her on the show. I will miss her shade. I will miss her family. But I'm glad that she said that she's not done with Bravo. So it sounds like we will see more from her, which is good, because I do like Candy, and I will miss her on the show. I'll miss her and Kenya has their duo, because I feel like, you know, they're a nice duo. But I get her, you know, wanting to move on. She's been on there for a very long time. I do feel like it's nice to go of your own accord rather than being pushed or whatever. So I feel like good for her. And I feel like there's a bit of, you know, people always moan about her and, you know, saying that she's this or she's that. I feel like now people will get a chance to miss her, and we'll see what she actually brought to the show. So, you know, it's kind of bittersweet. You know, I wish her well in that, and I will keep up with her on her channel anyway, because I do like Candy. Another good thing about Candy is that she always gave you authentic stories about her family. She was very open about herself and what was going on in her life. You know, whether it be the drama with Mama Joyce or with her between Mama Joyce and Todd, and you know, the drama with her baby father, bringing in her family. She's done a lot for the show. And she's very open and transparent, unlike other franchises like, you know, Real Housewives of Potomac, where you've got Robin, who doesn't share much of her life, and Giselle too, because what's really going on. Anyway, in other Real Housewives of Atlanta news or rumours, now it's rumoured that Porsha is supposed to be coming back, or, you know, might be coming back, and Kenya might be coming back, because Real Housewives haven't come out and confirmed who the cast's going to be yet. But there are rumours, you know, Kenya's been doing interviews and people have been asking her. She hasn't said that she is coming back, but she just said that she, you know, she's waiting for Real Housewives to announce it. But it does seem like she'll be coming back. And I think it would be great if Porsha was to come back to the show. You know, hopefully it wouldn't have an adverse effect on her marriage, because she seems like she's really happy over there with Simon. So, but it would be good to see her on TV, because she is good. Now, another rumour that's coming around now is Phaedra. Now, apparently Phaedra is in talks to return to Real Housewives of Atlanta as well. So I was thinking, this is interesting, because you just got married to Med, and I have been watching her on there. If you follow my channel, then you might have seen some of my commentary. I do say that I really do like Phaedra. I think she's good TV, but she hasn't got a, you know, she's not seen a doctor or anything like that, so she's not making any sense for the show. Now, speaking on that, sidebar, I was not too happy to hear when I watched Carlos King and Heavenly do their little weekly recap. You've got Heavenly sharing that apparently she went on a double date with Phaedra and a doctor. So I'm like, what the hell? They filmed it and they didn't show it. They haven't aired it. Why haven't they aired this? What the hell is going on? So, well, I'm over here thinking she's not seen no doctor. What is she doing there? But apparently she was seeing a doctor. But anyway, that's by the by. So basically, she apparently might be coming back to Real Housewives. So this is what she said recently. Apparently, Phaedra said there's been some discussions about, you know, her returning to the Real Housewives, and all she say is never say never. We'll see. So I'm like, interesting, very, very interesting. Will she or won't she return? I mean, it would be good to see her back on Real Housewives, because that's where she really came from. And now that, you know, Candy has bowed out, that means that she can come back, because we know that Candy was not willing to film with her after, you know, what transpired between those two. So it'd be interesting. I mean, based on what Heavenly was saying on Carlos King's podcast, she was basically saying, well, you know, we like Phaedra. I think she fits in well with the show. She seems like she's happy and doesn't seem like she wants to go anywhere. Of course, that's what she's kind of said. But I'm like, yeah, please, if the money's right and that's her original show, you know, I'm sure she would happily go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we shall see. What do you guys think about that? Do you want to see her back on the show? What do you think of Phaedra coming back, Porsha coming back, and Kenya apparently coming back? Or do you think because Kenya's gone now that it's an opportunity to just start afresh? I actually like the idea of Porsha and coming back, Kenya coming back, and Phaedra as well. As much as I like, you know, I like her on Married to Med, but I don't see her interacting with the doctors per se. So we're not getting much from her. So on Real Housewives, I think we'd get much more. Moving on, so another reality update. Now, I do like watching Carlos King. I think he's good. I like the shows that he does, as you know, if you watch this channel. But anyway, I absolutely love the interview with Mariah Huq and Carlos King. I love Mariah Huq. I feel like she's really good TV, and I feel like she's good vibes. It was a really good interview. We got to see her studio, kind of showed Carlos King around the studio, which I thought was nice. It was really, really lovely. And it's really nice to see a black woman entrepreneur, you know, doing her thing in the TV space. So I think it's really good to see her in the entertainment lane and, you know, making her mark how she has been. I thought it was good because Carlos King was giving her props about, you know, creating the show. I will include some clips for you to watch here shortly. But yeah, he was bigging her up about the show, you know, the fact that she created Married to Medicine, which was really interesting. But she also gave some tea in terms of, like, you know, getting pushed out of the show and, you know, some other little tidbits, which you'll see here. Have a look at this.
Time for some of the OGs to be removed?
Absolutely. Just like medicine, the shows have to evolve, and it's not evolving.
I heard the real villain on the show is Dr. Jackie.
If she's the real villain, then what does it make the ladies? Is she Geppetto and they're Pinocchio? Like,
in regards to her comments on Heavenly's YouTube channel, what were your thoughts about that?
Fire your whole PR team.
When it comes to the show, do you feel like they protect her?
They do. Like, what's going on with her marriage right now?
What are your thoughts on Toya?
Toya went to the other producers and said, Mariah is trying to get us. Toya snitched on me. I'm trying to help us. I'm trying to help them, really, because I know I was going to get my coin.
What are your thoughts on Sweet Tea?
I think Heavenly is going too hard on her. Why are you poking this girl? She really, truly just is a newlywed. Marriage is hard enough. And Heavenly doesn't have room to speak on anybody's marriage.
Talk to me about your thoughts about Phaedra joining Married to Medicine.
I just didn't see the correlation with her with Married to Medicine unless she had a malpractice. She wasn't there to work. She was there to collect a coin. You can't leave this group of friends and come to this one and not explain a lot of unanswered questions in this group.
We want you back on television, and by we, I mean me and the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you create one for me?
You open to co-creating one with me?
I told you, what you want to do, love and medicine?
Ah!
I got some girls in mind. Mm-hmm, I do.
Said this to the girls, too. I said the show was epic when you were on, and you can't deny that.
But now it's Quad Show.
Did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
You better get me together, baby. I don't know too many people that can say they created a franchise. You came up with the title. You cast all the girls. You shot a sizzle reel. You funded it yourself. Mm-hmm. You funded the treatment where you push out of Married to Medicine.
I was stabbed in my back, my heart, my jugular, in my eye with all of those ladies. You know, I'm not even mad at the producers. You can't let the devil use you. They had to have a vessel.
There were accusations from the girls that you would say things to them like, this show is called Married to Mariah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
If I didn't tell my story, if I didn't call myself the Queen Bee, married to Mariah, people wouldn't even know I was an executive producer or creator of that show. Do you think those ladies would have told my story? Because nobody would have told my story. If I would have trusted the process, it'll look like I would have been another doctor's wife. They came in and out on that show. Kind of like the critical race theory. They would have wiped me out of history if they could. One of the women actually said to me, they want me to be the person to put the nail in your coffin.
When Quad was sent home by the girls, do you think that was Quad's karma for the way you were treated?
You gotta think of what they're doing. They're icing her out so she can't make a certain amount of money.
Is the show living up to your vision?
No, not at all. A lot of the ladies look like one-trick ponies to me. It's the same old thing. And in a perfect world, in the real world, you think Heavenly and Jackie would be friends?
And I want to hear your opinion. I heard the real villain on the show is Dr. Jackie.
Absolutely. Abso-hucking-lutely. Yeah.
Now, you heard from her there. If you haven't watched the show, go and check it out. Go and check out the interview. It's a 2-part, but it is definitely worthwhile watching it. And I will say that I was definitely here for the idea of Mariah and Carlos co-creating this love and medicine. I think that would be really good. And she's like, yes, she's got the girls ready to go. So I'm like, Carlos looked like he was ready to take off with that and really thinking about different cities and stuff. So I was like, okay, yes, hopefully that would be a good one to look out for. Hopefully they'll do something with that. But I thought it was a good interview. I found it really interesting when she spoke about some of the things that were happening, you know, behind the scenes, where she was just trying to keep it together, like, you know, making sure everyone was on the same amount of money and, you know, trying to have meetings so that, you know, they'd have a bit of unity so that the production couldn't go against them, and how certain people were about to turn on her. Dr. Simone, that was quite surprising to hear that one, particularly when she said that Dr. Simone had delivered her kids, and she was surprised that it was Dr. Simone who came to her to tell her this about production wanting to kind of put the nail in the coffin for her. It's just like, what the hell? It's really disappointing. But it also goes to show, just like, I feel like they really pushed her out. It was really in a disgusting way, particularly knowing that she created the show. And so what, she called it Married to Mariah. Like, she came up with the idea. We know that the actual title was called Married to Medicine. So, like, it's not a big a deal. That to me sounds more like egos. What I also thought was interesting was her commentary about Dr. Jackie. Now, you know, her saying that she feels like she's basically evil. So I was like, well, you know, based on what we're seeing, this doesn't sound like a surprise to me. I don't know what her problem is with it, Mariah, but there was definitely a cold shoulder that Jackie always seemed to give her. And so it's not surprising to hear her call her evil. But if you haven't checked it out, do check out that interview. I thought it was really, really good. Now, onto a Carlos King show, or person from his show, Martellholt. Martellholt, star of Love and Marriage Huntsville, he got arrested. and it was for domestic violence. And he actually, you know, he's denied it now. The actual charges were something like, it was domestic violence, but apparently it was text messaging harassment. That was what it was to do with. So that happened in January. And then, of course, this man, obviously, he's come out, he's denying it, you know, he's denying it. He says that he adamantly denies any intentional harm or harassment towards the accuser. And then he decides that he's going to go on Tasha K and do an interview with her, you know, plug in his wine. The actual interview was sponsored by his wine. They had the wine there, and they were chatting. And he was just, to me, just like, I just didn't take much of it as seriously, I'm sorry. Because he's trying to say she cheated on him, she's violent towards him, he filmed her. But if you look at the footage, it's just like, you're antagonising this woman, you're not giving her what she needs or what she's actually entitled to. And I just don't buy it. I watched the interview and I just thought, whatever, Martell, just go and sit down somewhere. Why would you go and do this? Why would you go and do this? It's just a cry for help at this point, because Maddie is living her life and getting on with herself. I don't think many people believed you in that interview. Even in the comments, I was like, most people were not here for it. They were here for Melody. And to be honest, same in that sense, because I listened to your story, but as I heard it, I just felt like, you're just reaching a bit for some of it. It just sounded very bitter at this point. And, you know, Melody's doing her own thing. She's looking great. I see that she's got a little new pixie cut going on. She's looking really lovely and doing her thing and living her life. It'd be interesting to see if they pick up this for the when they come back with the new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm sure it will come up, because obviously it's great content to feature. So we'll probably delve into that a bit more and see what happens with that. In other reality news, we've got Tyreek, who's from Love Island. He has basically aired his concerns about Love Island All Stars, and that's basically happening in the UK. It's basically a special where they've got ex-Love Islanders that have gone in to try and, you know, get them to couple up. You know, can they spark a new love? And there's hardly any black people in there. There's like one black girl, Kaz. She was in it, obviously, previously. And there's a mixed race boy in there too, which is Toby. I think there's been someone else as well that's come in there. I've not been for it this time round, because honestly it was very much giving me X on the beach. So I'll just wait for the original Love Island to come back. But I hear his point. I mean, the fact of the matter is that Love Island has always had problems with diversity. This is nothing new. Yeah, so he wrote this. What you're saying, none of the single black people that's ever been on Love Island throughout 10 whole series don't get the call. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Nice, thumbs up. So yes, it's not surprising though. It was interesting looking at the comments that were on the Shea Bar on this one. Some people were just thinking, you know, saying, you know, sad reality is kind of what it is, you know, and what do you expect from Love Island? They kind of display this. I feel like last year they've done kind of decently with diversity, but they still could do a lot more, because you hardly see Asian people, you hardly see different sizes of people. And yeah, it seems like when it comes to black people, it's just always slim pickings. But I don't know why Kaz would go back in there, because that to me is it's just long. But it is what it is. Moving on. So in terms of breaking the internet, you've got Monique, who did the interview with Club Shay Shay. And, like, you know, she admits that she is like Cat Williams' twin, because we all know Cat kind of, you know, broke the internet when he done his interview with his truth telling. And I feel like Monique came and she just shared her truth, and she put quite a few people on blast, from Oprah to Tyler Perry to D.L. Hughley to Tiffany Haddish to Kevin Hart. Yeah, she definitely, you know, let her feelings be known. And she also spoke about her friendly pom-pom and more. But if you haven't seen it, check it out, guys. It's a good interview. I feel like I'm not that surprised to hear what she had to say about some of the things that happened with Oprah. I'll put a clip in here.
Speak about Oprah Winfrey. And let me be clear. I love that sister, because she's our sister. Mm-hmm. She just got to come back across the street. We got the light on. When I speak about Oprah Winfrey, I speak about that woman because she's spoken about me. And when you begin to speak about me privately, I'm going to speak about you publicly. You've been unfair. You've been unjust. And you watched a black woman be thrown under the bus, and you said nothing. And here's what's interesting as well. My husband was saying to me, after I won the Oscar award, right? Mm-hmm. And she had the people come, you know, to talk to the Oscar winners. and I go on the stage and I talk to the Oscar winners. Well, when we go to a commercial, the people in the audience, and I say this humbly, as my husband was telling me, he said, Mama, they wasn't screaming Oprah. They was screaming Monique. Right? So much so, I had to say, y'all gonna shut that shit up now. We get ready to go back on the air. We having fun, right? He said, but I watched Oprah. He said, and I watched her almost turn in her seat like they screaming her name. Now, some people will say, oh, Monique, you're reaching. Well, let me tell you what then happens. The movie The Butler, that movie was offered to me. Lee Daniels came out and said, I did offer Monique the Butler. But as he said to me, he said, Mo, at the time I didn't have no power and I didn't have no money. So when Oprah said she wanted it, so who played the lead role in The Butler? Oprah Winfrey. Lee Daniels was getting ready to do a biopic on Richard Pryor, and he offered me the grandmother. Who then calls Lee Daniels and says, I want to be the grandmother. So, as you're looking at me, it's the same way I'm looking at that sister. And I'm saying, why don't we sit down and have a conversation? Because the way things could look, it may not be that way, but just the way things look, Oprah. Just the way you would have my family on your show, Oprah.
One might say, Mo, well, I mean, if they're looking for a black,
Big, go ahead and say it. Shannon is so careful with his words. He want to say fat black woman. If the role looking for a fat black woman, Mo, but he was like, you know.
But I want to keep my podcast, Mo. Y'all ain't finna cancel me.
This why we love you, Uncle Shay Shay, because we want you to say it, a fat black woman. Now, me and Oprah fit the damn description, Shay. Fat black. Don't we fit it?
You do. But I'll be right back in the bed. I'll be your neighbor up there where you live at.
Listen here. So, are you lying?
No.
Now, I'm not going to have your big ass sitting here in the Hall of Fame and you scared to say shit. I tried to call you first. I tried to talk to you privately, but then you became the great, mighty Oprah Winfrey, and you were too busy to talk. Well, now I'm going to talk about it. This woman has overstepped with me in so many ways that somebody would say, if we wasn't Monique and Oprah Winfrey in the entertainment business, and we was Monique and Oprah Winfrey that worked at Costco, I see you in the break room. I see you at your cash register. Because she's overstepped.
Wow.
Now we know Monique has never been shy to, voice her opinions. And I'm not surprised to hear this stuff about Oprah. I've heard a lot of sketchy stuff about Oprah in the past. I've looked into some of the conspiracy theories. But also, I mean, look at what happened in Hawaii recently. Look what happened with her and Taraji P. Henson even more recently. Like, there's certain things that I feel like she's got bad vibes. There's bad vibes going on with Oprah. I'm sorry, I know a lot of Oprah people out there. And when I was growing up younger, I used to watch some of her shows in the UK. I remember seeing TLC on it back in the day when she was doing more black stuff when I was in my younger years. But yeah, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, this woman's doing things. And then time has gone and her trying to out Michael Jackson. Certain moves that Oprah has done, I have definitely side-eyed because she has not gone after her people that she's friendly with, like Harvey Weinstein and things like that. She's not, tried to do any exposés on them. But, so that's a different subject anyway. But she also spoke out on D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley, who I'm sure you've seen, he also sent a response, which I felt like his response was quite, taking shots about her weight and that kind of stuff. I just thought, I don't know, something about D.L. Hughley I don't really check for, to be honest. I don't really think it's that funny either. But I felt like his hitbacks was just like, made him look bitter, But someone here sent a good tweet out, actually, that I thought was quite well put together. And the Neighbourhood Talk shows it here. D.L. Hughley is the same man who didn't believe his daughter was SA'd because her abuser was his friend. He's also the same man who was glad that his outside baby died. Sick, nasty man. And I believe everything Monique said about him. Is all I have to say about that, because I don't even want to get started on that, because those things I find quite triggering, and it's just a disgrace. Moving on, Michael Jackson. Now, Sony has purchased half of Michael Jackson's publishing, the late Michael Jackson's publishing, and his masters as well, in a deal that's valued, some say over $1.2 billion. If you look at it on the BBC here are saying that the deal means that they were paid at least 600 million went to his estate. Now, I think this is really sad because actually Michael Jackson hated Sony. If you do your research and you see he was trying to get out of the record deals, he spoke out about them. So I think this is really sad in terms of for his history of music going back to the people that he didn't, that he fought so hard to get away from. I think that's unfortunate because I had to have a quick look. I was trying to work out, well, who's in charge of his estate? Obviously, he's got the lawyers in place, but I was thinking, who does he actually go to? So I know that when he originally died, 40% went to his mum. And I think the rest was split between his 3 children. So I don't know whose decision this was, but I feel like he wouldn't be too happy about that. Rest in peace, Michael Jackson. But yeah, that was just like, nah, man, you shouldn't have done that shit. You shouldn't. He fought to get away from that. So I don't like that. Anyway, and lastly, I wanted to cover the Mobo Awards, which takes place here in the UK. And there were some really good winners, of course. Some of the winners include Stormzy, Ray, and Little Sims. So Stormzy, he got best video, but he wasn't at the ceremony. Little Sims, she won best hip hop act, which I'm like, yep, good, good for her. I really like Little Sims. She's really talented. You've got Ray, she won best female act. You have Potter Paper, he won the album of the year. Jessica Ennis Hill, former athlete, she won an award for paving the way. Shy Girl, she accepted an award for best electronic/dance act. And I thought this was a nice one too, that Jazzy B of Soul to Soul, he was recognised for the Lifetime Achievement Award. And for those that don't know, blast from the past, but it was good to see these ladies. This is 2 years after surprising their fans with their news of a reunion. The Sugar Babes were in attendance and they accepted the Impact Award. So I thought it was nice to see the Sugar Babes. And I thought, look, they just look like they haven't really aged, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And you've got Getz, who accepts an award for inaugural Pioneer Award, which is good as well. Amazing. So big up to all of the winners. There's a lot more that were won as well in different categories. Central C, he won Best Male Song of the Year with Central C and Dave. Best Newcomer went to Tunde. Best Grime Act went to Bugsy Malone, which threw me because I feel like he hasn't been doing much this year. But, big up Bugsy Malone. Congratulations to all of the winners in all of the categories. Anyway, people, that's my recap for the week. Chatting to people, them things. What do you guys think of the topics that we have covered off for this week? Let me know your thoughts below. Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.